What is up, defects? We are here with some more comic book reviews. But before we get into that, let's get into this.
What is up, defects? It is Matt Forge and the Butcher 105 back for some more comic book reviews. You guys said you wanted it, so we're back. We're doing it again. The Butcher, before we get started, say what's up to the people.
What is up, guys? Big week for comics. We're going to start doing more reviews. You guys are asking for it, so we're giving it to you. So I'm excited.
Good. Before we get into the reviews, if you're new to the channel, if you could please sub up the channel, hit the notification bell. If you like what we did here, give it a thumbs up. Throw a comment in the comment section. Tell us what you're reading. Tell us what you like this week. And, of course, share the video if you can. So, and also a quick reminder about our sponsors, our partners of the channel. All their information is going to be in the description below. Of course, we got Mutant Beaver Comics and our buddy Erod212 at Express Comic Book Pressing Services. Defects 10 gets you 10% off both of those places. All the information is in the description, of course. All right, let's get into the reviews. All right, guys, so first up on the list, we're going to talk about Strange Academy. Scotty Young, Humberto Ramos. I'm digging this series. I was 1 week behind, so I read 2 books this week. Guys, honestly, I'm liking it more as I go, okay? If you read issue 6, so it's number 7 this week. If you read issue 6, you saw at the end, Doyle it looked like he was dead. And even issue 7, it's looking like he's dead, but it starts to get deep. I'm really digging what Scotty Young is doing. I think he's an underrated author. Humberto Ramos, his art is fantastic. I love the style. I know a lot of people say it's a kid's book, but it's really getting in depth now, I think. You're starting to really get into the feels. You know, it might make you tear up a little bit, but they're really getting into like what is going on. You know, you're seeing a little bit of Doctor Strange and Brother Voodoo, that dynamic. Each one of the kids at the school really is, you're starting to find out what they're made of. You're starting to see friendships and relationships and a lot of feelings around this possible death. I don't want to get into too much detail about exactly what went on. We're not doing like a full breakdown, more of just a review style, but this is definitely a series that I recommend. I told Jay to give it a read. I know he is just starting to get into it. He's not all the way caught up yet. So that's my take on Strange Academy. It's this is, I know people right off the bat were like, oh, this is going to be adapted. That's why everybody's grabbing number 1. Number 1 is worth a good chunk of change as far as an investment, but there's a reason for it. The story is very good. Jay, what are you thinking? I don't know how far you got into it.
It sounds, I got through the first 2 issues. It almost has a Harry Potter type of feel. Like it starts off, you know, you think it's for kids, and then it takes that dark twist. Yeah. I can't wait to catch up. I just got so much on my pull list right now. I'm trying to read so much, and I like to read in detail, but I'll catch up. And the next review, I'll be caught up on Strange Academy.
There you go. And I think you said it actually best, is that it did take a dark turn in 6 and 7. And I think it's making for an even better story, because the first 5 issues, I feel like that was a great warm up, and probably even issue 5 was but they couldn't continue that for a whole series. So I think the turn was at the right time, and you nailed it right on the head. So kudos, brother.
Yeah, and all I could think is this is Disney Plus show all the way. This could be awesome.
Animated, live action. It could go either way, honestly. And, you know, 5-10 years from now, you never know. You could see something like that. So, all right, Jay, I'm going to throw one your way. Something is Killing the Children, number 14. James Tinian. Who's the artist? Sorry, I have it written down here. Deral. I don't know. I'm not familiar with his name, but I'm familiar with his art. Jay, what are you thinking about the series overall and this week in particular?
Wolf, we talked about it. New Comic Book Day. This is not slowing down, guys. Every issue is action-packed. Great story. This starts off with Erica's, avatar, her monster, Octo. He comes to light. You could tell she talks about him. It goes into in the past a little bit. I'm sure they're going to touch on that more. Obviously, she killed Well, it killed Erica's parents and friends, but this is her avatar. This is her monster. And the way the story was written was so good, man. Erica has the 2 kids lay down, tell them exactly how they manifested this monster that came to life. Then you got a whole nother story going on in the gymnasium. You got Tommy, his younger sister Sophie died. His mom's bugging out. You got everyone there. He tries to concoct this plan where he's going to act like he killed all the kids. This way everyone gets off scot-free. And the house has a story behind it. But that's not working. And then you see Erica get down to business at the end, guys. 2 more monsters down the pipes. So I'm excited for this. I don't even know when this story arc is going to end. It just keeps going.
Yeah, I like that they finally got into her little puppet / monster / avatar, Octo, yep. Right? That's the name. And she gave the backstory, what it's used for. And now we're seeing what kind of powers it has. And that's really cool. And kind of that it's a servant to her.
Yeah,
to Erica.
It almost shows what the monster looks like that was manifested in the kid's thoughts, you know?
Yep.
And it even digs deeper into that of how this monster came about in the ravine. So I was feeling this, man. This read has been absolutely phenomenal.
This is a page turner. It is the fastest read of the week for me every week without fail. Probably because there's not a ton of dialogue, like compared to like Department of Truth, which we're going to talk about later. But you turn the page, man. It just goes and it goes. And I think it is perfectly written. It's the right amount. It's the right amount of story, the right amount of art, the right amount of blood and guts. They've killed at every issue. You know, I need like a big plot point though. Right. I think this is the start of it. Like it's been like 3 or 4 issues of not a huge, I've had some moments, but we need like a big plot turn. And I think you're going to start to get that. And like you said, the arc's got to end in the next 2 issues, I believe. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So again, if you're not reading this, I don't know what to tell you. I mean,
and that's what I'm excited to see. I want to see what's next for Erica. If it is in fact Erica, it could be another story based off someone off the house. So really excited.
I think they'll stick with her because she's got a following now. She is Something is Killing the Children. It's been too many. If it was like a shorter run, I would say you're probably right, but I think they're going to stick with her. But the Order of Dragons, I guess they don't fuck around. All right. They're here to stay. So that story, they're going to be in the arc for a long time. And I'm looking forward to it. So get on this.
They're cleaning stuff up.
That's it. All right, guys, moving along. We'll do some Future State. Don't think we were going to leave that off the list. We tried to give it a chance this week, okay? So 2 issues. First one I want to talk about is Future State Aquaman. So Brandon Thomas, Daniel Sampier on the art. Okay, we got Jackson Hyde as Aquaman, I believe, and then we have Andy, Aquaman's daughter. And I'll tell you, I don't want to say it's confusing, but the story is not, it's not well put together. It was entertaining, but it jumped around a little too much for me. It got better towards the end. That is the one good thing. It's better to be finished strong than kind of trail off, and it did. It finished strong. They got weird with kind of the oceans, the the convalescent, I think they call it, how the oceans kind of merge all dimensions together, and it kind of jumped back and forth. We're in the present. Jackson Hyde is a prisoner. And then all of a sudden we're jumping to the past where Andy is his protege and he's training her. And all of a sudden they wind up in like another dimension. They're swimming. It doesn't give a lot of detail as to how. And then she cuts her own leg off for some reason. It's very strange. So I gave this one a shot. Am I going to read issue 2? It's going to have to be a slow week for me to read issue 2. Wasn't really feeling it. But like I said, it did finish stronger. So we gave it a shot. I give it like a C- at best. So let's move to something I know that you read for sure. The Department of Truth, James Tinian, Simon's on the art. This just keeps getting better. Jay, tell us what you thought.
All right. So last episode, right? Last issue left you hanging in the wind. You see Cole, he whacks 2 guys, right? They end up being his husband's co-workers. This jumped right into it. We got Ruby at the airport. She touched down. She got to take care of business. She gets to where she's supposed to be. And what do you see? Destruction. It's a massacre. There's notes left behind. But the most important note is a file on Cole. So right away she calls up. She's like, listen, where is he? He's on his way back to, his apartment. He's talking to his husband. He knows he did something wrong. He could feel it. You could tell just in the writing. I don't know if he's so much regretting it. He's feeling bad, but he knows something ain't right. He gets to his apartment, Matt, and who's he see?
He's got Martin Baker,
who is the head of the Black Hat.
Yep.
And now the story takes a little bit of a twist because he knows what Cole's going through, and he's giving him thoughts like, listen, you're not doing the right thing. You could feel it in your heart. Things are messed up. Things are fucked up. You just killed 2 people. They're your husband's co-workers. How are you going to, base your relationship on lies and go forward? He's like, Harvey Lee Oswald put these thoughts in your head, put this demon in your head. So now we got a little bit of a plot twist here. Correct me if I'm wrong.
A big one. Yeah, so we knew from issue 3, the end of 3, and definitely 4, that Black Hat was a major player in this storyline. But now we learn that they are the main, I don't even know if you want to say antagonist, because we don't know, right? Yeah. Even as the reader, we don't know who's good and who's bad. You have your assumptions, but throughout this issue, I started to flip-flop on like maybe the Department of Truth is bad. Yep. Okay, maybe they are the ones that are bad. So he's trying, basically we find out, without giving too much detail, that they're trying to recruit Cole, and they have been for a while, Black Hat.
Yeah.
So, and another thing I really noticed is that I feel like the art in every issue gets a little, and I don't want to use the wrong word, I'm going to say duller, and it's not bad. It's like it was so out there in the first one, and now in the 5th one, the art seems cleaner, right? It seems like a little bit more like almost regular, like a standard, like a normal art that you're used to. So I noticed that, and I think you said it a couple nights ago that you're kind of getting used to the art, but I think the art is also changing a little bit as the issues go on.
Yeah, and this is the total opposite of something is killing the children, guys. This is this is all dialogue. This is it might as well be a book the way it reads. But dude, it got me. I'm excited. I want to see where it goes now, because I'll tell you what, I'm Team Black Hat right now. I think it took such a turn this issue, and the way that it was explained to him, he kind of knows he messed up. Now we'll see how it weighs on him.
Yeah.
And then we got, Mr. Baker leaves, and we got Ruby that enters his apartment, and he suddenly just vanishes. He's nowhere to be found. So did the Department of Truth send Ruby there to, talk to him to bring him back? Is he turning? I guess we'll find out in issue 6.
We will find out. I was a bigger fan of 5 than 4. 4 was, it was tough. That was a little bit of a harder read.
Get through. Yep.
But I liked the main points. Again, that finished strong. I love that. And 5 was a breeze. I loved 5. So definitely, if you're not into heavy reads, this might be tough for you, because there's a lot of dialogue, and it takes you all over the place, and you have to pay attention. If you're not paying attention, you're done.
I don't recall. Is this first appearance of Martin Baker?
It is.
Okay.
Yep. As far as first full, like that, we know it's him. Yeah. I would have to go back to see if there was
mention
maybe a cameo. Yeah. But there you go. This is a first appearance, and that's, I would say there's been other first appearances, but they don't matter. Like they've been in little mini story arcs. This one is a character that's going to be there to stay. So, all right. I would say pick it up, right?
I would say pick it up too. We told you to pick this up even before, just on the story alone.
That's it. All right, moving along. A book that I read, we recommended it a few weeks ago as, hey, give it a shot, because it was a #1 issue. #2 came out this week, Post Americana by Steve Scroce. He's the artist and the writer. Okay, so I didn't read issue 1. I read 1 and 2 this week. I'm going to make this quick. If you like kind of really, it's kind of like Judge Dredd a little bit, in the sense of the Badlands, the outskirts A lot of cannibalism, a lot of blood and guts, a lot of, the chick in it. I can't remember her name. Carolyn. I think her name's Carolyn. She's a badass, but it's tough, man. It's a tough read. I wasn't really feeling it. I liked 2 better than 1. I might give 3 a chance. I like the story, but I don't like how they're telling it. That's the best thing I could say. Basically, to give a synopsis, the world pretty much has come to an end. America was supposed to be able to retreat into this bunker and built into this mountain with all these resources. Okay. And people paid to get in, and now they're in charge. The president didn't make it. None of the government officials make it. And now somebody's decided to take command, and he runs it like a dictator. He's not helping the rest of the world. His goal is to just eradicate all the Badlands. Everybody that's there, he sees them as traitors. So we're starting to follow the story of the resistance to that. Okay. And they're fighting their way through the battle. Caroline and Mike. I can't remember if her name's Caroline, but Mike is the guy, and they're working their way through trouble in the first 2 issues. So I could see how this could be for some people, but not for everybody. I'm sitting on the fence right now. The next issue will definitely determine, like the first 2 or 3 pages of the next issue will determine if I keep going or not. That's it. So I give this one like a C, flat C. So I know. All right, we're going to round this out with another Future State book that I think we both enjoyed, and I know we were both excited for. We got Future State Dark Detective #2. We got I don't know either the artist or the author, so I'm just going to read them off. Tamaki is the author, and Mora is the artist. So Jay, tell me what you thought of the first 2 issues. This one, #2 specifically.
Like #1, we talked about that. I liked it. I like seeing that they made, Bruce Wayne a part of Future State, which is awesome. I also like Tim Fox's Batman. I enjoyed the first part of that, which I thought was phenomenal,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I don't like. I don't like the 2-part stories. I enjoyed Dark Detective #2. It shows you, the magistrate basically thinks that Bruce Wayne is dead. He's killed by
Peacekeeper 01.
Yes, exactly. Peacekeeper 01. Who I don't know, man. Could it be Red Hood? I'm not sure. They didn't get into it. But you see what happens. They think he's dead. There happens to be a body in the river that they bring in. You see Bruce Wayne kind of living in this crazy guy's basement. He goes under the name Jeff. So I like it, man.
The guy. Yeah.
I think it pieced together like, Bruce is out on the run. Like I said, magistrate thinks he's dead. He's trying to do his thing. I think everything's going to tie in together. Definitely going to be reading this, this series. I don't like it as much as I like Tinian's Batman run, which comes back in March. So we'll see where it goes. I'm going to continue to read. The story's good. I didn't read the second part. I don't like what DC's doing, having the 2-part, 2 stories in 1 comic. They should just stick to, Dark Detective, and that's it. But we'll see if it ties in.
Yeah. So when I talked to Jay quickly about this, basically I said it's confusing. It's a little confusing. And it's not that it's it's not that it's like the dialogue is confusing. They jump around a lot, even from panel to panel. But I started getting a hold of it in 2. Right. And I don't know if that's just because the more I read or if it was because the story came together a little bit more. Jay gave you the synopsis. That was perfect. Peacekeeper 01, we've seen that throughout a couple of the books so far. So I'm interested to see where that goes, who that is. Definitely going to play a big role. Bruce Wayne's broke. He's dead, but he's not. And he's broke. Okay. So now we got 2 Batmans running around Future State Tech. I'm assuming they're the same timeline, right?
Yeah. Yep. I think it's 5 years. 5 years after.
Yeah. So
the present day.
And it is Future State because you see a lot of futuristic things that I haven't seen. I haven't read a lot of the Future State, but I'm starting to see a lot of futuristic things that I didn't see in some of the other ones. So that's pretty cool. He's trying to figure out how, I think the basis of it so far is he's trying to figure out how they knew that Bruce Wayne was Batman. Okay. And vice versa. That's the main theme right now. So it's really cool to follow him because Bruce still has that still has that prowess. He still has that intellect. He's still, even without the money and the resources at his disposal, he's still the dark detective. It's actually a perfect title for it because that's the storyline they're going through for. So
Yeah. Yep.
I think this is good. It's not an A for me, but I think it's a solid B. And I'm hoping that it gets better, and I think it will.
It's a good read, and I like how they go back. I believe they're going to keep going back, and you're going to see how they identify him. And I think it's going to be good, guys. I can't wait for it to tie into Future State Batman because you know it's going to happen. So I'm excited for this series. Hey, listen, we're not hating on all Future State. A lot of it is good. It's just some of it you got to pass on.
Yeah,
rough. All right, Defects. That wraps it up for our comic book reviews for this week. Make sure you check out our friends in the description below. Let us know what you thought. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that like. Hit that notification bell. Until next time, the Pressable Defects will see you later.